There will be no Armageddon. There will be no sudden ending. We will see our children grow, and theirs grow after them. For 50 years we awaited the future with a mounting sense of fear. Our path to the next millennium seemed certain to be lit by the bright lights of a nuclear conflagration. But now, as we raise our eyes, we see that we have almost made it to the year 2000 and beyond.
The Third World War, I believe, will actually be a civil war.
There will be no Armageddon.
The end of the world is going to come after this war. There will be people out killing each other, ravaging on the streets, total chaos. And that is when the one true, pure thing will come back and stop it all.
There will be no Armageddon.
I don't know what the end of the world would be like. I mean, it's never happened before. You can't picture something that's never happened before, so... It'd just be really, really scary, you know? It's just like you know you're going to die.
There will be no Armageddon.
More and more people are coming into this world, and more people are getting crowded together. And after a while, how I see it is, once people group together and they live their whole life in a little area with a bunch of other people, and they're all in poverty, and they've all experienced the same thing, it's kind of dehumanized people. It's the same way with animals such as like the tiger or a lion or an elephant or any kind of animal out there. If there's just thousands and thousands of them, people don't care about them and they kill them. But it's the same thing once there's just a few left, like a few panda bears, a few tigers. Now all of a sudden everybody's worried about them. That's how it is with people too. The more people there are, the less important we become.
There will be no Armageddon.
Creo que después de la Tercera Guerra Mundial todos vamos a desaparecer, y no precisamente por bombas nucleares y esas cosas, sino por el odio que ha ido creciendo estos últimos años dentro de muchas personas. Creo que mucha gente inocente va a pagar las consecuencias de una Tercera Guerra Mundial, y creo que solo van a existir pequeñas cucarachas e insectos. Y también creo que una Tercera Guerra Mundial no tiene por qué existir si todos ponemos de nuestra parte y queremos vivir en paz.
There will be no Armageddon.
I don't know really what's going to happen when the world ends. When it happens, I think it'll be a bunch of people running around angry because they're going to die and they know they're going to die. So I think it's just going to be a lot of people scared. So scared they'll do anything, even if it hurts other people.
There will be no Armageddon.
Well, the end of the world for me, it would be really chaotic. Everybody would be trying to leave, but it's like, where are you going to go? You can't really just drive into the next town because that'd be blown up or dissolve or whatever. People would be, I don't know, like atoning for their sins. There'd be a whole bunch of religious things going on. Just total chaos, really.
There will be no Armageddon.
When I think about the end of the world, I get tears in my eyes.
it's the apocalypse. You don't know what's going to happen. It's scary. It's like you know you're going to die. I don't want to die, but I don't want to be immortal. There's nowhere to go. You stay in your house because you know the end is coming. It's just like sudden death, so I guess it wouldn't hurt.
There will be no Armageddon.
Après une guerre mondiale ou une guerre nucléaire, je pense que tout sera réellement purifié. Et tout sera comme au commencement de la vie et de la terre. Et tout sera magnifique. Mieux qu'aujourd'hui. Et on aura vraiment besoin de purifier rien du tout. Tout sera hermétique, homogène et impeccable.
There will be no Armageddon.
It'll seriously change the world no matter where you live. It'll change your perspective on life. And, I don't know, maybe even your perspective on humanity.
There will be no Armageddon.
Personally, I believe that the end of the world isn't going to be death and destruction and everyone's dying in this bloody carnage. I think the end of the world is going to be more of a relapsing back into a dark age where technology isn't the thing that's keeping the world running. It's more of the humans' will to live that will keep the world running instead of just the day-by-day rat race that we live in today.
There will be no Armageddon.
The end of the world, I think, will just be a bunch of people happy because we're all going to live in unity or whatever afterwards. And I'm not scared of it at all. I think it'll be a time when everyone will come together and act as one.
There will be no Armageddon.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the KMSO Evening News. I'm Larry Frost. Tonight's lead story, a mysterious illness is baffling Missoula. 3 children were hospitalized yesterday when they were struck by an unknown illness. A press release from the hospital says that the children were displaying symptoms resembling the Ebola virus. The 3 children, Sally Hayes, Missy Buchanan, and Billy Sims, all showed similar symptoms, but none of the 3 had prior contact with each other. Before yesterday, they had never met. Now they are brought together by a strange and tragic set of circumstances. More to come later in the broadcast. Next up, sports.
Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. 5, 4, 3. No!
You're about to enter a new era in television.
Day in and day out.
We interrupt this program for some shocking news. Earlier today, an anonymous caller notified the authorities that while hunting just outside the rural settlement of Lone Rock, Montana, he found a dead body lying on the ground not far from a stream. When he entered the town to call for help, the scene was completely deserted. He entered a nearby home and found a horrifying discovery. Here is a tape of the 911 call he made.
Oh my God, they're all dead. Everyone is dead. Lone Rock, everyone in Lone Rock is dead.
Shortly after that call was made, the police arrived on the scene and confirmed the caller's message. We're going to join Tim Ricken on location in Lone Rock. Tim.
Thanks, Larry. I'm here in Lone Rock, and where the body count continues to rise. No one here is willing to guess what caused this tragedy. Many brave men and women are keeping a vigil here while they try and sort out the details of this horrendous occurrence. One question continues to be asked. Why here? Lone Rock is primarily a town for elderly men and women, a peaceful retirement community touched by the hand of death. For KMSO, this is Tim Ricken reporting.
Thank you very much, Tim, for that live report in Lone Rock. Our hopes and prayers go out to the families in that community. On a more positive note, the 3 children who were hospitalized last night are beginning to show signs of recovery. The doctor said the 3 exhibiting signs of the earlier stages of Ebola contamination seem to be responding to a mixture of antibiotics and steroids. Dr. Wolf says it's too soon to tell if the children are completely out of danger. We will keep you posted on both of those stories as they develop. Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
One of the reasons that it's so powerful is that it's not considered educational.
Television is entirely false.
In one sense, the most powerful propaganda system is that which doesn't allow itself to be recognized as propaganda. And I think advertising is that kind of system.
A new twist on the already bizarre events surrounding the Lone Rock tragedy. Now to Janet Williams. She joins us live from St. Jude's Hospital for more on the new developments.
Thanks, Larry. I'm standing here with Dr. Ann Mansfield in front of St. Jude's Hospital, which has been quarantined until more is known about how this deadly virus is spread. Dr. Mansfield is an expert on the Ebola virus and has some startling information linking the Lone Rock tragedy with the 3 children that had taken ill just a few days before. Dr. Mansfield?
Yes, Janet. It seems that the virus that contaminated Lone Rock and infected the children are the same. This particular strain is a genetically engineered mutation of Ebola that seems to attack the immune system of its host at an accelerated rate. The virus transmits itself through direct contact with someone infected, possibly through contaminated water. It seems the older one is in years, the harder it is for them to fight off the infection. The age group most at risk is between the ages of 40 and 80. Between the ages of 20 and 40 are also at risk, but it seems that under that, the virus is manageable, although at this point it is uncertain.
Have you any recommendations for the viewing public?
Yes. If you are in any one of the at-risk age groups, it is important for you to drink only bottled water and stay away from potentially hazardous water sources. Please call St. Jude's if you develop a sudden fever, intense vomiting, or bleeding from the nose or mouth. It's important for any infected person to get to the hospital immediately.
This is Janet Williams reporting live from St. Jude's Hospital. Back to you, Larry.
Thank you very much, Janet, for that report. Rest assured we will continue to bring you coverage of this shocking story as it unfolds. Next, we will have weather.
Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. Yes, sir, seeing is believing. But can they really get inside my head?
We're now here at Big Sky High School, and we're going to ask some students what they think about this epidemic. So what do you think about this dilemma?
Oh, well, I think it's totally cool and all. You know, it's kind of a drag that all those people are dying. Yeah, but, you know, at least I get to hit the ball all day.
What about your parents? Aren't you worried about them?
Whoa. I've never really thought about that. They're pretty old, too. Do you think they'll get sick? All right, dope you.
Excuse me, what are you most worried about with the new Lone Rock virus?
Well, it's really bad timing in all counseling school because I have SATs to study for, and that's the most important test of my life. But it'd be really bad if my family got this. You don't think they're gonna get sick or anything? Oh.
So, what do you think about this epidemic?
Oh, well, I hope they don't cancel practice with the big game and everything.
Hey, are you the people who are doing the Lone Rock thing, the news? Hey, this is like really inhumane what you guys are doing. I mean, this is real people we're talking about here. I mean, sure you guys have to cover the news and everything, but you guys are just going too far.
This is real life. It's not a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, really. Can we turn off?
A breakthrough has been made in the so-called Lone Rock virus. The Center for Disease Control has brought in experts, and they have found an antivirus similar in composition to the Lone Rock strain of Ebola, and the antivirus is effective at combating the deadly virus, as well as inducing no harmful side effects. The antivirus has been introduced into the watershed, and the surrounding area should be completely eliminated from danger in a matter of a few days. In a related story, the FBI has come up with multiple leads on the origin of the Lone Rock virus. They have isolated the cause, and they say it was an intentional act on the part of someone. This conclusion was reached when the enforcement agents found a single broken vial at the starting point of the Blackfoot River. The suspects have yet to be identified, but authorities say they are optimistic that a suspect will be identified and arrested quickly.
It sells values, it sells images, it sells concepts of love and sexuality, of romance, of success, and perhaps above all of normalcy to a very great extent.
We have just gotten word that the Lone Rock virus mystery is about to reach a conclusion. Our Tim Ricken is on location now with more. Tim, take it away.
Thanks, Larry. After a long and intensive investigation by the FBI, they limited their suspects down to 3 microbiology students at the University of Montana. After finding the student that matched their profile, the police are ready to apprehend their primary suspect. We're reporting live here to observe that apprehension.
Sheriff's Department! Freeze!
I'm not very happy about this thing, because I think this is boring.
Well, if you put a TV there, this will become a bottleneck, because people try to stop and watch.
Right, exactly.
So what we can do, though, is just turn this into...
Right, right.
Touched by the hand of death. For KMSO, this is Tim Ricken reporting.
Thank you very much, Tim, for that live report in Lone Rock. Our hopes and prayers go out to the families in that community. On a more positive note, the 3 children who...
There will be no Armageddon. There will be no sudden end. We will see our children grow, and theirs grow after.
It will seriously change the world no matter where you live. It'll change your perspective on life. And, I don't know, maybe even your perspective on humanity.
There will be no Armageddon.
We are Big Sky High's filmmaking class. Throughout the year, we will roam the halls, bug the administrators, and let the public know what's happening at Big Sky High. This is Red Light Blinking.
Hello and welcome to the second season of Red Light Blinking. I'm one of your hosts, Matt Loomis, along with Aaron Famel, and today we're going to interview Mr. Walt Serba, who is the Dean of Students here at Big Sky High School. And Mr. Serba, I'm going to start out with a relatively easy question. What is a dean?
A dean basically is a member of the administrative team that's been placed in charge of attendance and discipline. We're responsible for this to principal, to the community, and to the parents about finding out where the students are and holding them accountable for being in class.
So on average, about how many students do you speak to a day about attendance?
Right now, we aren't seeing that many students because it's fresh. Everybody's still eager to go to class, hopefully to learn. As we start into the school year, things get more hectic. Students also tend to get very busy doing other things. So we'll see approximately 70 to 90 students a day on attendance discipline. But most of those are problems where parents have failed to call in to clear the record, that type of thing. So I would say 10 to 15% of that, maybe up from 15 to 20 kids a day that are true unexcused absence from class.
About how many excuses do you get a day, different ones?
Oh, most of them usually fall into 3 or 4 categories. So I was late, I overslept, there was an accident on the street.
Do you have any particular creative one you'd like to?
Yeah, the one sticks out in my mind about a young lady a couple of years ago. I was driving down, I called her to the door, and she said, my dog had puppies, and yesterday was the last day that they were home, so I went home to say goodbye to the puppies. I thought that was a pretty good answer. I've never had that one before, so I bought it.
So do you have any other duties besides being the dean?
Oh, there's many duties that we try and do. We try and patrol the hallways because threat of vandalism, thievery that goes on. We're all over the building. Our presence in the halls during passing time also helps to discourage, hopefully, fighting and intimidation, problems like this that we occur. We're out in the parking lot, again, to kind of get kids away from being in the parking lot, so there's less vandalism, there's less theft in the parking lot. I contact parents a lot. I talk and communicate with them. Unfortunately, some parents and I are on first name basis. Also, there's other things that we do, such as attending events and things like this. Just the presence of the dean being there helps to make sure it's orderly process and kids don't get too overly rowdy. Some of the things we do in the springtime is two of the big track meets we have. I cook burgers and beans for the workers and the coaches at that time, and it's something that I enjoy doing.
How did you become a dean?
Good question. Many years ago, when the other principal was here, Miss Darlene Smith, inquired one time if I'd like to come up and help Mr. Pease at that time because he was swamped with attendance and discipline problems, because he also was the athletic director and did many other functions. And so I was invited up and I started working for Mr. Pease, but Miss Smith laid out the rules, the ground rules being that I could contact students, but I could not officially do anything with them as far as discipline. That had to be turned over to Mr. Pease, which I did. And then when the new principal came on board, one of the things that he petitioned the school board for was that we acquire two deans like the other buildings. And I applied and was interviewed by site-based members and by the administrative team, and I was selected as one of the deans. Mr. Foreman was the other dean last year. And I think that there's been a turnabout in the atmosphere in the hallways and throughout the building. And also there's been a change in type of students. They're less rowdy, I feel. There's less intimidation of the younger students. And I think also there's less garbage in the hallways. And that is something that I think speaks highly of our staff and our student body.
Now, we're wondering, is the school any different now than it was in the past?
Reflecting back 3-4 years ago when I moved up to the office, I think it's greatly different. I've had many teachers say this has been one of the best openings of schools they've ever had. To reflect back, there's less garbage in the halls at noon, because site-based has asked that students not bring in food or drink in the halls at noon, because if they do, it always ends up in the hallway. So usually we collect the drinks and things like that at the doorway as they come in. The students are very good about that. We've gotten away from the old carpet here in the main part of the building, which really has helped as far as cleanliness, in my opinion. One of the things that have stuck out in my mind this year as we've come back, in the past, the rowdy students would tear down all the signs and all the decorations that the other students had put up to welcome students back the first week of school. We're now entering the third week of school. If you'll notice, there are still decorations still up, and that is a first. The other thing that's a first, we set a milestone this year at Big Sky. For the first time ever since Big Sky has opened, we're now going into the third week. We have not had a fight on school grounds or within the building. That is a first, and I attribute that to the students and to the staff being out in the hallways. So their presence is, well, I really enjoy having the teachers out there and mingling with the students. I think it helps a great deal.
Those are some pretty good accomplishments.
I think so.
I've also heard some things about more fire drills and such this year. Can you elaborate?
Yes, I'd like to on that. The superintendent has mandated that we do 9 drills this year. 7 of the drills will be probably fire drills. Maybe Thursday or Friday a.m. we'll probably have another fire drill. But 7 of them will be fire drills, and 2 others will be different types of drills. Last year we did a lockdown type drill. That'll probably occur again this year, plus we also have an extra one where we have to evacuate the building and go towards a site. Let's say we could have a scenario where we would pretend that there is a hazardous spill out in the teacher's parking lot. Therefore, we would evacuate the students out of the school backwards towards the stadium and have them sit in the stands. And this is mandated by the superintendent. And of course, this is all reflections on the happenings that have happened throughout the United States because, like an example, the Columbine High School type of thing.
Well, our thanks for Mr. Walt Serba for being here. For Aaron Flamel, I'm Matt Loomis, and now on to our next segment.
I'm Marissa Badziak, and I'm here with Jay Christopher today, talking about the new grant that Missoula schools received. Are you familiar with the $2.75 million grant to help at-risk kids?
Well, I am familiar with it. You know, we last year, when they were putting the grant together in the spring, they asked me to contribute sections to the grant regarding statistics on the district, you know, how many kids have done this or what kind of money we spend on that, and so test scores and that kind of thing. So yeah, I met with the team of writers on several occasions, and over the course of about a month we contributed our stuff, and then they put this whole big huge grant together.
Could you give us your definition of an at-risk kid that we're trying to help here?
You know, I think there are as many definitions as there are people working with at-risk kids, but my sense is that somebody who's at risk is a person who, either psychological, social, intellectual, familial reasons, is at less of an advantage within our school system or within the community than other kids, average kids, that kind of thing.
Does our school, Big Sky, have any immediate plans?
Well, I think the ways that this grant will affect Big Sky immediately is probably with the through law enforcement. I think that there will be some officers that will be in our building on a regular basis to help kids to understand that, you know, we do want to provide a safe environment for everybody. So I think that's probably the most immediate effect of this. The long-range effect is that we'll probably have a better system of keeping track of what we do, you know, like how many kids, statistical stuff, how many kids are involved in what, and, you know, like drug and alcohol use, and keeping track of grades and failure rates and those kinds of things.
Well, thank you for your time.
Okay.
And now to our next segment.
Today we are interviewing Corey Miller, student body president. How is your school life different now that you are the student body president?
Well, let me think about it a minute. My school life, I don't know, I walk down the halls and all I hear is, hey, there's the president, or hey, president, can you do this for me? And I might answer, yeah, I try to do the best that I can. It's a lot different. I never thought I'd be where I am now. And I guess it's an exciting feeling to work for the people that go to my school and try to make it a better place.
Well, a lot of people are discussing this leadership camp. Could you expand more on that?
Yeah, leadership camp was an idea that was brought to me by Mr. Marcinkowski, which is our advisor, and he said that when he was a student body president at Hellgate, he took the students and brought them to a camp where he brought like 2 or 3 people from each clique, put them together in a group, and did some sort of barrier breaking or prejudice reduction workshop with them. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a prejudice reduction workshop so that the students can come to this camp, they can meet the other people in our school and kind of break down the barriers that are between like different cliques in our school. And hopefully it'll boost school spirit and I don't know, at least eliminate some of the violence and hopefully all of it.
Do you think it'll help for homecoming week?
Yeah, that was one of the main goals, is that we could boost our school spirit. And right after this leadership camp is homecoming week, and this year it's going to be a lot better. We're going to have 2 assemblies, one Monday and one Friday. The Monday one's going to be a competition assembly. The Friday one's going to be an introduction to the athletes assembly. We have stuff planned for every night. It'll be extremely exciting with Powder Puff and the bonfire. And I just encourage everybody to get involved. And we're going to be on your back, at least trying to help you get involved. And we want to see you there, and we want our school to be extremely positive this year.
Well, thank you, Corey. And now to our next segment.
For the past couple of years, there's been questions about Y2K. What is it? Why should we care? And what needs to be done about it? Some say that computers will crash, the world will collapse, and all order will stop as chaos runs rampant. Now, to help douse the fire and share some information and opinion with us, we go to Candy Cherry and then Jennifer Copenhaver.
I think that it is an interesting problem that probably is understandably going to affect us in some ways, because I think it would have taken a lot of foresight for the people who invented computers to think as far ahead as they did when they were actually making a computer the size of a classroom that would only run a calculator. So I can understand why it's an issue. I think that in the United States we probably don't have a whole lot to worry about. I think that there will be, we aren't really in danger or anything, because I think that our government and probably our power system and everybody that is involved with the main banking and that type of thing, I think take care of it.
I don't know, bad things are going to happen, like the world is going to end, or computers are all going to go crazy. And
okay, what is the scariest part about Y2K to you?
Oh, I don't know, it doesn't really scare me, actually.
I think as far as impact goes, I think it will be a bigger deal for places like the Asian continent, Russia, China, places where they haven't had the resources to do the Y2K compliance.
Thank you for watching this edition of Red Light Blinking. This is Jenny McCleary signing off.